On the head of the pin, I think these people have travelled a long way, and we've got today's hearing to go through. I think I've made my point. I think Councillor Barker's made his point, and I think we'll get on with the hearing. So, up to you, sir. If you wish to vote, you vote. If there is ever a challenge on any of our decisions, the points have been made and recorded, and we'll deal with that when it comes. So that's the risk you put us at as a council, but that's fine.
I want to have exercise a right of reply to that. You have cut me off twice before, so I want to say to you that you've spoken, this will make the clear point to you, is that what you've spoken about is natural justice, and I understand that well. And natural justice applies when someone is in a judicial process and are being subject as an individual to a decision. And natural justice says that the person who is subject to the decision as an individual has the right to be heard and explained before a decision is made. The thing that we're embarking on here is public policy and public decisions, not on behalf of an individual, but on behalf of the broader community. And so the rights of the individual, you've made your point yourself almost, that we're here to represent all. And so when we make decisions about all, not about the individual. So this is not necessarily a process about public justice. This is a process about public policy making decisions on behalf of all people. Now, I could have a view on a policy platform, for example, that I have a policy of no rate increase. I'm entitled, if I come here on that, to exercise that right of no rate increase, regardless of what else has been heard or not. And I accepted that it would have been best had I been here yesterday to hear all the submissions. I grant you that. It was not for other reasons, and I grant you that. I apologise for that, but I don't think that takes away from me my right as an elected councillor to exercise a vote. And I'll defend my right to have a vote in any council have a vote on any subject, and I will not see anybody's vote taken away from them in any circumstance.
Fair enough. Right. So we reconvene the meeting, and I would ask that Environment, Justice and Peace Network representative. Good morning. And good morning, madam, and welcome. You have 10 minutes to present your case, and at 8 minutes I will tell you have 2 minutes remaining. If you wish us to ask you questions, please consider that in your presentation, and give us time, but 10 minutes is all you're allowed. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll start off with the Napier-Gisborne Railway proposal. Our feeling is that this must be retained as a railway, and so we would oppose turning it into a cycle track. After reading other submissions, I must say I was impressed with the submission of the Napier-Gisborne Railway Establishment Group, and I would support Council going with that proposal. It does seem to me that in the absence of any government support for keeping this line open, that it's the job of a regional body to look after this regional, what should be a regional asset. Obviously the road is a matter of concern. It always has been. It is not and never will be a road of national significance in the under the present categories. And it seems to me that it's really important to keep that railway open, and that it's important for ideally that it should also become a used line, not just a mothballed one. I think that the investment that the council is proposing would fits in very well with the council objectives as outlined in your plan, in your plans. The suggestions of the staff, I don't go with the second proposal, the and or. If I can find where they are. Yes. I don't support the feasibility study being done of the potential use of the rail corridor. I think that would be a waste of money. I'm interested that the reference to a study that's already underway, it is actually completed, I understand. Is that right? And if it's the same study that's referred to earlier. Right. So it has been completed. And I don't see any point in putting any more money into a feasibility study on the best use of the rail corridor. So, are there any questions on that particular issue that you want to ask me?
Questions, Councillor Scott?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask clarification. Thank you, Mrs. Mills, for your submission. You are supporting the establishment group's proposal that further funding you would actually.
I would support that having. I would support it having
at a higher investment.
Yeah, at a higher level.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Other questions? Right, Councillor
Yes,
Bevan.
if I could ask a question, you're probably aware at the moment that the deal that we've gone to the government to talk
Yes.
about is that we would, or the entity that would be formed would lease the tracks off the government, but the government's responsibility would be to get them in running order again.
Yes.
And the cost for that's estimated between $3 and $5 million.
Yes.
The government at the moment has said no. How would you feel if the council funded that extra
Yes.
$3 or $5 million on top of other investment?
I think that would be a sensible thing to do if government continues in that position.
Thank you. You had more? Didn't appear to be any further questions on that. No?
I wanted to go on to the second submission I made about
Absolutely.
climate change.
Thank you.
I think what struck me when I came across this in the plan was its position in the plan. It doesn't seem to me to be in quite the right place. It's as if, you didn't quite know where to put it, so it's in amongst, responses to community engagement and so on. I actually suggest that it would be better placed under the strategy and planning activity, helping the community to prepare for the future. But that's not the main issue for me. It's quite clear that in the course of the normal working program of the council, you do a considerable amount to prepare the community for possible climate change, but it just seems to be a little unfocused. It's business as usual. What is actually happening with the establishing a process to monitor and report on regional carbon emissions? I'd like to know how that's going. You've got a baseline from 2005 to 2006 of a level of carbon emissions, and there's a target to reduce those. I just wondered how that was going. And there should have been a report in June 2013. Is that right?
No, it's being undertaken in the upcoming financial year 14-15. It's in the programmed in this draft annual plan.
So that the comment that there's something happened in 2013. The first report was completed by 20 June. Was supposed to be completed.
So there's sorry, Mrs. Mills. The first, the 2013 was an assessment of council's own corporate emissions. The wider regional assessment is for 2014-15.
So that's. Is there any information of interest on that? From that?
From
I mean, how are you doing with your own emissions?
We've got. I haven't got the report in front of me. Obviously, it was about a year ago, but we could certainly make sure that that's on our website. And my recollection is trending in the right direction in terms of our own emissions, with a number of initiatives that have been put in place, particularly in this building.
Right. And is it a very difficult process? I understand it could be, to monitor and report on regional carbon emissions. How is that established? How is the process being established? Is it coming on, or is it a really very hard thing to do?
I'm not the proper person to answer that. I'd have to get another staff member here.
Perhaps we could help you with that offline after the meeting.
Certainly,
if that would be helpful.
Right. Well, I'd just like to make the point that in actual fact the two submissions have some connection, and that by investing in the Napier Gisborne Railway you are also proactively seeking opportunities to make investments that provide a satisfactory return and result in sustainable use of the region's resources, which is one of the things that you are supposedly going to do with the carbon emissions as well, climate change. So I think that is all I want to say. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Mills. Right, any further questions? Okay, thank you. Any final comments from you, Mrs. Mills? Or?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission. Thank you. Okay.